What's up, you guys? It is your boy Ohaji back here with Introverted Investor LLC. So, we are back. I know it's been a while. I've been having a lot of situations going on. I've been away. I've been more so, not even having a lot of situations, more so just so focused on the business that I have not taken time away to actually create content. And this content creation thing can get a little hectic because you're constantly having to pull out your phone and edit and all that. And so now I have a whole new system. We got a whole new thing, as you can see. I don't know if you can tell, but we are on a different camera, not on our phone anymore. So I can actually get content where you guys can hear me on the phone with buyers and sellers and things of that nature. This is a continuation of the Can We Land It series, and I got some news. We are under contract. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, sir. We are under contract officially. We've actually been under contract for about a week or two now. Like I said, I just have not been recording content, but we have a lot that we're going to get into. In this video, we're going to be discussing how we got this deal, where we found our buyers, any hiccups we might have had, what problems we solved. We're going to just go deep into it. Let's break it down. How we got this deal. Basically, if you do not know, I put out bandit signs every week. I put about 20 signs out. So I put my signs all over my hometown. That's the only way I even market out in my hometown now. I really don't market to sellers or anything like that because my hometown is not really a land, capital, I guess you could say. But yeah, land is not a big thing in my market. I am in Memphis, Tennessee. Only way that I market out here is I do bandit signs. Bandit signs are those little yard signs that say we buy land or we buy homes or things of that nature. So basically, I put out some bandit signs. I had a owner call me. She called me and she literally said, "Hey, I see that you buy land. I got some land in Somerville, Tennessee. Wanted to see if you guys were buying in that area." I buy all over. She had some land that she inherited. It was originally her father's land, and a piece of it was her uncle's land. She had it since she was like 19. They both passed, unfortunately, but she didn't do nothing with it. She was living life. Time has passed, and she's tried to sell it time and time again, but she had something holding her back from selling, which we'll get into later. But yeah, so like I said, she contacted me from my sign, said she had some land she wanted to sell. I looked at it. I never, ever even thought of Somerville, Tennessee. Honestly, never even heard of it. So this was a tricky one for me. Let's just say that. This was a tricky one. Because this was a market that I was not used to, I did not know where or how to even start about going and looking for buyers. First off, we all, the typical go and look for recent sold lots. I was not finding anything. This is a small town area, so there's not a lot of information out there to the public, or even a lot of transactions for that. There's not even a lot of transactions for that being said. So I literally came up with the idea to contact the neighbor, the person on the right of the lot and the left of the lot. And hey, I see you own the land on so-and-so street. I was wondering if you ever thought about expanding. And I ended up finding my buyer that way. Basically, he owned some property. He recently has been buying lots up all over that area and building duplexes and multifamily homes and renting them out. So it just made sense. And so I contacted him. He looked at the lot. He was interested. He said, "Hey, I'll give you your asking price. And all I need for you to do is handle the the closing fees and things like that. We're going to be also focusing on what problems we solve. Like I said, the lady had some land that just was sitting there. She didn't have no plans with it. Her family didn't want it. Like, it just was sitting there. And in Tennessee, if your land sits there and you pass away and there's nobody to claim your land, the land just goes back to the county. And the county can do what they want to with it. She did not want that to happen. So she contacted me and was like, man, I just want to sell it. I don't even want a lot for it, man. I want $7,000. I went out and looked to see if I could find somebody who was interested in that area, found someone, and I asked him for 20, and he gave it to me. And the only reason I even asked him for 20 was because that's what he bought his lot for, and they was around the same size and everything. Our buyer needed more lots so that he can do more building and build up his rental portfolio. So that's the problem we solved with him. And for ourselves, we increased our revenue, our capital for the business. So therefore, we solved problems all over the board. I got it under contract for $7,000, and I got my buyer locked in at $20,000. So we're going to be making $13,000 on the deal. As I said before, we are handling closing costs, estimating about $2,000. That's typically around what I spend on my closing costs when I deal with my title company that I'm dealing with. It might even be less, but I'm expecting to walk away with at least 11. Now, let's go over what all of you want to know. What hiccups did we have to face with this deal? So I honestly thought from the get-go, this was going to be the easiest deal I ever got. I've had deals where I deal with a lot of irritating sellers and all kind of nonsense. This lady was heavenly. Like, she was so nice, and her asking price was reasonable. She kept up with the taxes. Only thing she did not understand was the process of real estate. So the hiccup we had was the lot she owns is actually split into 2 lots. I don't know why the county of this small town decided to split one lot into 2, but they did for some reason back when her dad bought it in like 1980 something. So because of the split, it's not buildable. You can't build a home on it because it's split in an ugly way, and that county does a new rule now where you have to have a certain amount of space on both sides of your home in order to build. The only way that this would be a doable deal is if the lot next to it was able to be combined into one. Well, her family owns the lot next to it. Therefore, the problem / hiccup was she's not the sole owner on the title. That hurt my soul, man. So come to find out, my buyer had actually tried to work with this lady before and had a transaction set. They just never took it to escrow because come to find out, she outright owns one half of the lot, but the other half of the lot is in her family's name. I talked to the county, and what we're going to have to do is what is called an affidavit of heirship, which basically in certain states, they do this thing where if someone owns a home or a piece of land or something like that, and they pass away and don't have a will, the next kin, if they had kids, those kids are left the land. And if there's multiple kids, that land will be split up into portions, sections for the kids or whatever. So because it was in her mom's name, it's going to be left to her. And what we're going to have to do is file this paperwork, put it into the system. The system's going to have to approve it, come back, and they're going to have to create a new title. I know in my heart that this is going to be the case because I've had situations like this in the past. It's not a hard situation. It's just a time consuming. We were scheduled to close on January 31st. It is February 8th, if that tells you anything. So what we had to do with this contract, we had to basically put in terms, we will only purchase this lot if the title comes back clean and clear with insurance. You get what I'm saying? And is insured. This transaction will be processed. And once it's processed and it comes back and we get a clear title on both lots, we'll be able to buy it all up at once. And I got this ordeal with both my buyer and my seller. If the title is not clear, the transaction will be void on both ends. So that keeps my end clear, his end clear, but I really want to help this lady out. She's going through some tough financial times, and I really want to provide her with some value. So that's really the deal. Now I have the contract already sent into the title company. My buyer is in Pennsylvania, so he's on a whole completely different time zone, which kinda messes with my schedule, but you know, anything to get that deal closed and to provide value to my buyers and my sellers. Now we're just playing the waiting game, and we're also moving on to our next deal. I'm already in my head, this deal is closed. So our next video, you probably will see me at the title company picking up my check. So until then, peace out.